Hello and welcome back to the RostyMaths channel. In this video, we are going to be looking at stem and leaf diagrams. Now, I am the owner of a very successful gym. No, I'm just making that up, but I'm going to be using that sort of information to make my point today. So keep watching to see what you can learn. One night, I decided to check to see the age group of different people coming into my gym. Now what I want to do is model that data that I've captured onto a stem and leaf diagram and see what amazing things I find out. Now because this is going to be a little bit of a lengthy video, you might only be looking for a particular part of this video. So I've made it nice and easy for you by putting the chapters down on the line below, or you can see them right here as well to know exactly where you need to go for the part you are interested in. Let's jump into the lesson and see how to do stem and leaf diagrams. Here are the age groups of the people coming to my gym on this particular night. So I've decided now to just rank it all into males and females. Now in the first part of this video, we will draw a stem and leaf diagram for just the males who are in the gym. So let's see how we draw a stem and leaf diagram. Well, there's some key things about the stem and leaf diagram that you need to know. So for example, we have on our stem and leaf diagram, usually it's separated by a line here. And on that line, we will separate our stem and leaves. And what we do with the stem and leaf diagram is that we look at the numbers we've got and we separate them into a beginning number, i.e. the stem, and then all of the units or the number on the end will be the leaves. So for example, I can see this number here, 25. I will put a 2 here for the 20 and I will put the 5 over here. Now there are different numbers you can put on a stem and leaf diagram. You can put decimal numbers, you can put 3-digit numbers, 4-digit numbers, doesn't really matter. If I have 3-digit numbers like 352, I will put the 35 here and then the 2 there. Obviously we will do a key in just a little bit to tell anyone looking at your stem and leaf diagram that when they see the numbers on the left and the numbers on the right, it put it together and it gives you a particular number. Okay, the other type of number you can have could be decimal numbers like that, where you can have the 3 and the 5 there representing 3.5. But for all intents and purposes of today's lesson, our key will be 2-digit numbers. Okay, so we begin with our stem and leaf diagram by doing a key. And the key will say if I see a 2/1, it means 21, like that. This is the slash here, so it means if I see a number on the left / number on the right, it means 21, and that's because we have 2-digit numbers here. Now let's do an ordered stem and leaf diagram. Ordered meaning everything must be in order. Okay, so we look at all of the numbers that we have got here. We're just doing the males for now, and then we'll analyze some data. Then we'll bring the females in and do a back-to-back stem and leaf. So let's have a look here at our numbers. So we can see here the smallest number is 21. The largest number is 62. So these are the people who are in the gym on this particular night. My youngest person is 21, my oldest person is 62. So it means that for my stem, I'm going to start with 2 for the 20s, the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s there. And then now what I do, for all my 20s, I look at my people in their 20s over here, and then I put down their ages in order going across here. So I can see the youngest person here is 21, so I'm going to start with a 1 there. And then I look again to see anybody else. So I've got a 22-year-old here, so I'm going to put a 2 there. And then I'm checking again. I can see a 25-year-old there. So, and there are 2 of them. There's a 25-year-old here and a 25-year-old there. So that's going to be 2 5s there. Okay, fantastic, everybody. So here is my ordered stem and leaf diagram for the males in the gym on this particular night. Now, what I like about stem and leaf diagrams is that it shows you in a visual way what's the most that you've got in that gym. So for example, I can see most of the men in the gym that night are in their 30s, followed very quickly by men in their 20s. I hardly have anybody in their 40s. There's no one in their 50s, and there is one, let's call him a senior citizen, who is in the gym. He is 62. I want to know what he is doing there, but we'll find out in a little bit. Now, when you see this on an exam, make sure you draw your key in, because the key is worth a mark, and then you do your stem and leaf diagram in order. Now, ordered, let's talk about that word ordered. As you can see here, I started with the youngest person, and it went up in age up to the oldest person in their 20s, and then we do the same for the 30s, and anything that's repeated you write it that many times, and so on. So this is an ordered stem and leaf diagram. Usually when you're required to do one, it has to be in order. Now let's calculate some basic statistics from this, as in your mean, your mode, your median, and so on. Now, if you've seen my last video on mean, mode, and median, then great. If you haven't, link popping out there. You might want to go check that out, because I'm going to be talking about stuff that you should already know. Anyway, let's start with the mean. So I want the mean of all the men, the mean age, of all the men in the gym that night. So what I do here is I need to add up all of these ages. So this is going to be 21 plus 22 plus 25 plus 25 plus 27 and so on, and divided by how many men I've got. Now when you count all this up, it works out that I've got 16 men in the gym. So this is going to be, add up all the ages, by the way. So this becomes 554 divided by the 16 men you've got in the gym, which works out to 69 divided by 2, which is 34.5 years old. Let's call that an even 35 years old. So the average age of the men in the gym is 35. Now, don't forget that in that last video, I talked about outliers. You've got a very old guy in the gym here. We need to keep him in this group because he is in the gym. It doesn't matter whether he's 100 years old or not. He's still in the gym working out. And yes, he will affect my average and he's going to pull it up. So it's saying that the actual mean age of the men in the gym is about 35, which is just about there. All right, cool. Let's go and see the other types of basic statistics and see if we totally agree with that. So now the next thing we're going to calculate would be the median. And median means middle. So I need to find the age group or the age of the person in the middle of my set. Now, because we've got an even number of men, you're going to have two numbers in the middle. Let's have a look and see. So now we have got 16. I need 7 on this side and 7 on that side, and then I'm going to find the middle. Let me show you how I normally do this. So 7 plus 7 gives me 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then counting backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it means that my median is in the middle here. Now to calculate it, because I have two numbers in the middle, I will do 33 add 36 divided by 2. That as well works out to be 34.5 or about 35. Now in this case, you can see that the extreme data of the age of the older person in the gym did not affect my median. My median still worked out to be the same as my mean, and for that reason I will keep the mean that I have got. So yes, again, we see the average age of the men in the gym is about 35. There's one other test statistic we can check, which is the mode. Now the mode means the one that occurs the most. When you look at it, the one that occurs the most is 37. Okay, so you can see there are 3 of them there, and so the mode is about the age 37. And that's it, guys. So now you can see that from my stem and leaf diagram I can calculate things like my mean, mode, median, and now you know how to draw a stem and leaf diagram. Now let's go and talk about a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram and what that is all about. Okay, so this is the stem and leaf diagram we were looking at in the previous part of the video. Now you can see here I have got everything in order, looked at my males, it hasn't changed, it's the same males we've got on this particular night, and we're still going to have our key being that 2/1 means 21 and so on, because these are all 2-digit numbers. So I still got my key still okay there. Now you'll notice that I put an extra line here, and that's because these are my males in the gym, and the females are going to go on this side over here. So now I'm going to have to be a bit more specific and say that these are the males in the gym, and now these are the females in the gym. Now I'm going to fill in the information for the female on this side going this way, and it's still an ordered stem and leaf diagram. So I look at my females and I can see that the youngest is 21, but there are 3 of them because there's 1 here and then there are another 2 there. So I'm going to need a 1, 1 and a 1 there. So 3 21-year-olds in the gym for females. And then I look across, I can see a 23-year-old there, but then there's a 22-year-old here. So I'm going to now put my 22-year-old there and my 23-year-old. Okay, so here we go. So now we have got all our females added in. Now, before we start doing any test, any sort of data, just look at it and see what's going on in this gym. So you can see here from the very beginning, again, for the men, we have mainly a lot of men in their 30s, and we've got a few men in their 20s here. But when you look at the females in your gym, a couple of them in their 40s. So again, the 40-year-olds are not really represented that much. There's no one in their 50s, no one in their 60s for the female. But you'll notice that quite a lot of young females are in the gym. Okay, so what does that tell you? You can clearly see here more young women want to be in the gym to tone up, and for the men, not so much when they're young, but certainly as they start getting a little bit older and that dad bod start happening, they want to keep that under control in their 30s. I'm completely making all this up, but you get my meaning. This senior citizen here, he could be someone that's probably been in an accident, or maybe he's just a senior guy who just likes being in the gym. He just wants to get toned up. Or he could be there for a spot of physiotherapy. Who knows? But I am the gym owner, and I need to now think about who I've got in my gym and what I'm doing with these people. But before we do that, let's calculate some basic statistics. Add up all my females, which is going to give me 433. There are 15 females in the gym, which is going to be 28.9, or let's round that up and say it's the average age of a female in the gym is 29 years old. Okay, which makes sense because you can clearly see there are a lot of females in their 20s in the gym right now. So that's easy to spot. I'll do the same thing for the median. And because this is an odd number, finding the middle is really easy. So all I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can see that my median is here. It's 27, and so that makes sense that it's that the median age is 27. It's good to see that because most of the women in the gym are in their 20s. Okay, and then we can also work out things like the mode, and the mode is the most common, which we can clearly see is 21 because up here. But what does that mean? Am I going to accept the mode as my average? No, because looking at the data, the only reason why 21 showed up as the mode is because they are the youngest in the gym and there was most of them in there. So I wouldn't use that as my average because it is too small. I knew that someone in their 20s will be an average age, but higher 20s makes more sense to me because you've still got these people who are pulling the data up. Now, what does it mean in terms of comparison? Now, when I did the mean for the male, the average age for the male was about 35 years old. And that made sense because you can see it's bang in the middle of the most in this particular age group, which makes sense. So you can basically see, compare the two, and you can make comments like you have younger females in the gym than males. You can come to some conclusions about that. So what does this information tell me? It tells me that most of the female in my gym are in their 20s, whereas for the males, they're in their 30s on average. So that basically means that I have older men in the gym than I do females. How can I target these people as a gym owner? Well, I can obviously put on more classes or fit classes that people might want to join, especially for the men who might want to not focus on bodybuilding and the females who might not want to focus on bodybuilding. Maybe the females just want to tone up, they just want to keep fit, they're not interested in muscles. So as the gym owner, I know that on this particular night, I'm going to need more spin classes on, I'll need more circuit classes on, and then attract those people. I might need a personal trainer who just works for free, not free, but I will pay them, but they're going to work with the older guy in the gym because I don't want him to hurt himself, especially if he is there just for a little bit of physiotherapy. I don't want him to overexert himself. So I need to be mindful of who's in my gym. And then if I notice that these people tend to show up on the gym 2-3 times a week or on this particular night every week, then I know on that night I can make a timetable to make sure I cater for these people in my gym. All right, guys, so that brings us to the end of this topic of stem and leaf diagrams. Did you understand the topic? Smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe below and also ring that notification bell so you do not miss another upload. Until I see you on the next video though, peace.